Hello, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for having me. Oh, my goodness. Uh, this, some of you know, was my spiritual home for 20 odd years. And then I moved up to Napa. I never looked back. But this morning, I wanted to just mention, because this is a stretch for me. Being up here on stage, speaking to you today, it's a stretch for me. And and it is satisfying, right? So stretching and satisfying, that's what life is, right? Like, what am I going to stretch into next? And how satisfying can I make it? So thank you. And then if we had smiling in it and shining in it, and did you notice the singers when they were up here singing about smiling, how they were all shining? Did you notice that? Oh, I got just chills. It was just wonderful. So it's been wonderful so far. And I just want to let you know. So in 2017, I moved up to Napa, basically followed my motorcycle up there. If you guys know me, you remember me, right? And anyway, that was a big part of my life. And then in 2019, I got off my bike and I couldn't walk. And I was a personal trainer for 35 years. So like, okay, I can handle this. And I'm gonna not curse. Anyway, um, so I spent months, PT and trying to get my leg back. And then one day I felt my sacrum bone crack. And I thought, oh, this can't be good. So when they finally figured out what was going wrong in the fall, I have multiple myeloma, which is an incurable blood cancer, metastatic to the bone. I had 9 rib fractures, fractured sacrum, a fractured sternum, a fractured L3, and then I had cancer. Okay. And I was in, organ failure. So quick in the hospital and try to get better. So this is how I come by this terminally smiling stuff honestly. Okay. And for the last 5 years, I've been on every treatment they threw out. It didn't work. It didn't work. Treatments. So so at the very end, which was Christmas 2023, the last time I was near death. And my Sonnet is my friend, by the way. She's one of my musical partners and friends. And she and her children made me a life-size green cardboard Christmas tree and brought it to me in Stanford Hospital. Anyway, so she's close to my heart, and how lucky I am to know so many wonderful music people. Um, and then they put me on some brand new medicine at that point, which put the cancer back in the box. And it's been in the box for the last 18 months. And so, every 6 weeks I do my blood work and I think, okay, I got another month. What am I going to do now? Because I'm so used to living each day as it comes and not, not depending on a big tomorrow. Um, and, we're going to talk about life, death, love, and cancer. And somebody should give me a high sign when you want me to shut up in case I go too long, okay? So I'm going to read a little bit from the book and talk a little bit. And the book is full of my stories, the songs that I've written along the way, and the shortcuts that I've developed to live well as I'm doing. Oh, and by the way, whatever decades, who was it that said, we don't know what the decades are anymore. But so when we had an 8 o'clock service on Bush Street, but we couldn't afford music, so I learned the hymns on my guitar, and I brought the music to the 8 o'clock service. And what I realized at that time, that singing those hymns, learning them they're not meant for a guitar, or my guitar is playing anyway. Luke could play them. I felt so good practicing those songs every day and singing those songs that I stopped writing songs because I thought, you only write the sad stuff. Yeah. And then when I got sick, I discovered, I put down my business. I thought, if it's not fun, I'm not doing it. And then I got involved in this whole songwriting thing for licensing. And they want happy songs. they love happy songs. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm writing songs again." So you will notice if you listen to any of my music on Spotify or wherever you stream music, most of it's happy. Um, so yeah, so Unity helped me find my happy song voice, so many things, and you'll hear a few more Unity stories. They're in here as well. So the song that goes with the life chapter for me is "I Feel Like a Rainbow," and the reason why, because it's easy to be a rainbow on a nice day, but the skill set is, can you be a rainbow in a hurricane? So the song is "I feel like a rainbow up in the sky, looking that hurricane right in the eye. Whenever I see things are falling apart, I can still see the sun." So if you stay for the concert, I'll sing that whole song. Um, so that is one of the songs about life that is alive because I am. And one of the shortcuts that I love from my book about life is to ask a better question, you'll get a better answer. And I learned this, whoever got the cassette tapes from Tony Robbins, right? I woke up one morning and I thought, did I really order them? Because anyway, but that was the first time I heard that. Ask a better question, get a better answer. And then as becoming a life coach, I learned that again through the energy of money and mastering life's energies and here in Unity. So you don't ask why me. You ask, uh, and this is where I remember Reverend Maureen at one point. She was back south and she broke something. And in the ambulance on the way to the hospital, she was asking herself, I wonder what good will come from this broken bone. Do you remember that? And so when I got diagnosed with cancer, I asked myself, this is the advanced course, but I asked myself, what if this is the best thing that's ever happened to me? Okay, I don't recommend that. I mean, in this room, I could recommend it. Okay. But you can't say that to normal people, community people, maybe, right? So, so I, but that question directed my brain differently, and started to see things right away that were good, pretty good about anyway having this thing happening. But what was really good is that I found music again. I put down my personal training business, picked up my guitar, and ended up in this community. And they gave me the name Cinder Shine. So that's the advanced question. And it's almost like looking for silver linings early and often, because we look back and say, oh, yeah, the silver lining to this was. But what if you could look early, like Rev Maureen did, in the ambulance and say, I wonder what good's going to go from this crappy looking thing. Okay, that's the advanced course. And so now I'm going to switch to the death chapter. And here I write, this section is about what happens when we stop running from death and start walking beside it. And this might be the most life-giving part yet. So I've been the keeper of many deaths in my life. Four-leggeds, two-leggeds. It started early for me. My sister died when we were teenagers. And the music connection started there as well because, okay, can you imagine bringing a stereo system into the Catholic Church in 1976? Okay, we dragged a turntable, the receiver, and the speakers into the church. And we played popular songs of that time, and we played Landslide for my mom during communion. So, right. So as you can imagine, my journey with music and death started very young. I sang at my sister's graveside a Neil Young song. And then, I've sang at, I don't know how many funerals and memorial services, right? Kate, when her husband died, Kate Thornton. Did I sing at your mother's? See, too many to remember. So, and then, everybody's putting in their requests. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Now I get a request. So I used to want to have Michael Franti at my funeral. But now I hear DJ Rotten Robbie, who's up in Napa, and he plays all this disco songs. So anyway, I think I'm going to go with the DJ because I've outlived my savings account, you guys. So make friends with death. You will have a myriad of opportunities if you haven't had them yet, over and over again. I remember my first cat that I was the keeper of that death. I looked back and I thought, I did this all wrong. I made him wait too long. And, the cat was like, I give you grace. I heard this in my head afterwards that it's okay. Animals are willing to help us like that. They are willing to go through whatever. They'll stay as long as you want them to, or leave as early as you want them to. They don't have all the crap that we have on death. They don't have it. People is harder. Okay, you can't just take them to the vet. But so I've been the keeper of many deaths, and I remember specifically. Now, do you guys remember Old Unity doing standards of integrity? Okay, so my standards of integrity, I've never forgotten them. I am brave, wise, calm, kind, loving, present, and visionary. And I had a dog, my white shepherd, and I knew she was going. I was by myself, and I was in a panic, and I sat on the concrete out in the backyard with her when I found my standards of integrity. And I looked out on my backyard from her vantage point, and there was this beautiful moon up in the sky and this palm tree back there. And like it's a gift. Being present during death is a gift. And it's kind of cool if you cannot be all bound up about it. It's a cool thing. So I've been a hospice volunteer. I helped my mom go. My mom was given 3 to 6 months. She chose no treatment. She just wanted to do her bucket list. I'm like, okay, Ma. 4 months in, I'm like, I'm tired. But when she knew she was done, she said, call Reverend Maureen today. I think I'm done. And so it was. She died that night. So she went from here, gone, which leads me to my best shortcut for death. What are your 3 words? We're all going to die, yes? Okay. So I'm like, fun, dead. That's what I decided when I got this terminal. Fun, dead. And I don't want to do the middle. I don't want to do that middle stuff. So I have a plan for that. But I ask you, what are your 3 words before death? Is it worry, death? Okay, death? That's better than worry, but, So find your 3 words and live them because we're all going to end up there. We are all terminal. And there's one more thing. So there's nothing going wrong. Remember, there's nothing going wrong, whether you get a cancer diagnosis or a death, right? Nothing's going wrong. Same with grief. Nothing's going wrong. Allow it. But do not, and this is where I stand on this, don't listen to sad stuff behind the wheel. Okay? It's true if you're grieving. It's also just true. Okay? Don't listen to sad stuff while you're behind the wheel. Okay. That's all I'm going to say about that. All the songs, by the way, in the death chapter, there's 2 songs. One is called Take Today, that my Camelot, do you guys remember Camelot? Yeah. Well, my Camelot, when I was waiting for the vet to come, I started writing a song and singing over and over again. I don't know what I'm gonna do without you. Of course, that's as far as I got until I got further. But the chorus is Take Today. And there's a tag at the end of the song that he sent from the beyond. And it's, and may you have all you need when you need it, and all you want along the way. And he sent the tune, and may you have all you need when you need it, and all you want along the way. And the chorus to that song is Take Today. And the other song that's in the death chapter is called Today is Going to Be All Right. And it's funny, but I didn't realize that till I was done writing, that the songs in the death chapter are about today. What could be better, yeah? Okay. What time am I supposed to be done? I'm good. All right. Tomorrow. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Now we're going to talk about love. And I'm like, I put this in the book because it has a rhythm to it, right? Life, death, love, cancer. What would it be without life, death, cancer? No. So we needed love in there. And I'm thinking, right, what do I know about love? I haven't had the fairy tale, you know. Uh, but what I did realize is that, the fairy tale maybe not be true for me, but I am true for me. Okay. Uh, and when I was in the hospital over that Christmas time, Sonnet and I were talking on voice memos incessantly about love. And here's what I got. So the bottom line for me about love, and I believe why it's in the book, is I saw the through line between life, death, and love is, can you guess? God, spirit, source, whatever. And so I worked out this question, because we all have some way we deal with love, okay? And for me, what's wrong with me? The way I look, I've carried from when I was a kid, and nobody wants me now because I'm all broken. I have cancer. Da 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 da. So my question that interrupts that spiral: am I thinking highly of my spirit right now? And I answer the question. Now, sometimes I'm not, and I don't want to, but mostly that will stop and connect me back in. So, and when I say it in that way, am I thinking highly of my spirit right now? That gives me a chance to connect my spirit back into big spirit, because, we're all pieces of God, right? And there's only one power and one presence. So it's here, it's here, it's here, it's here. So that's what I'm using to when I'm not in love with whatever, I am disconnected. That's all it is. Do I want to feel better? Yeah, maybe. Sometimes I'm so enamored with my bad feeling that I can't even think of this question. So there are those times too. Like sometimes you just got to go with it. If you're down the tubes, go down the tubes. You'll come back up when you're ready, you know? Um, So that is what I call the holy pause. Take a holy pause. Care enough about what you feel in this moment. There's nothing else but this moment right here. Oh, Cinder's preaching. Watch out. Um, Maybe I was always meant to be up here. Okay. It's so satisfying. So I'm stretching and I'm satisfied. See how it works? Okay. The advanced course of this love section: be selfish enough to make a difference all around you. And what that means, if you are in bad shape about anything, anywhere, you got very little to offer. Okay? So be selfish enough to care how you feel in this moment. And really, again, another thing I learned from life coaching school from Maria Nemeth in that book, Energy and Money and Mastering Life's Energies, is life is like a walking meditation. Am I okay here? All right. Am I okay here? All right. Like when Elisa reached out yesterday, how are you feeling about tomorrow? You need anything? I'm like, I'm not there yet. Like there's a lot of things going on. So am I okay right here, right now? And then when I was sitting in that chair and listening to all that music, my brain wanted to go to what it was going to be like, what I was going to say, blah, blah. And I'm like, nope, brain, come back. Because if I am connected, all is well. And what comes out of my mouth will land with you guys. Yeah? So be selfish enough to get connected. And you appreciate love. By the way, appreciation is love without all the drama. So if you have a lot of drama, go for the appreciation. And I know we have a spiritual practice on that list. And And then we're going to go to, okay, so we did life, death, and love. Okay. And now we go from love to cancer. Love teaches us how to live. Cancer teaches us how to stay alive. The stories of love, the deep, the messy, the wild, soften us. They prepare us because one day something drops into your life that wasn't on the vision board. You go from poetry to pathology, from I love you to we found something. And suddenly every word, every kiss, every laugh you've ever shared takes on new weight. This next part isn't a descent, it's a rising through the fire. Love stays, but now the body breaks and the spirit rises. Um, One night, I've had like 3 almost dead periods. And death is cool if you don't get all balled up about it. Okay. But this one night, this cancer's all in my bones. So my friend put a nice hot tub. I'm in Napa, so we have hot tubs. It's in my backyard. It's great. And I went out. I was just, things weren't good. I know, I've learned now. I can tell, but I didn't know then. So I got my hot tub and I live alone. I couldn't get out. I knew I couldn't get out. I was in there, but I couldn't get out. And I was like, I didn't know what to do. And I looked up and the trees were moving. Have you seen the movie Phenomenon? Okay. Watch it. Okay. It's an old movie, but so the trees were moving. So I said, trees, how am I going to get out of the hot tub? And they said, oh, Solomon the owl will help you. Now I know Solomon from a book. Okay. I'm like, okay. And I wasn't on any drugs. Okay. But I felt myself being lifted out of the hot tub and I made it back inside. When things are bad, ask the trees. The trees know, okay? The trees know and they will help you. One of my favorite collaborators, Nick Phelps, Mr. Phelps, we do hip hop together. That's a whole nother story. I'll tell you, if you stay for the concert, I'll tell you some of the hip hop, has this old white lady does hip hop, right? When they called me OG Cindershine, I thought they were talking about old gal. It means original gangsta. That's me. Okay. But when I told Nick about the owl and the trees, and he's a God guy, he's a chaplain, and he said, "Oh, because there's a scripture about lifting you on the wings of eagles. Isn't that what it is? Right?" And Nick and I also we're connected in such a strong way. But there's also another scripture that I love about man, and I don't care about the whole gender thing, but man has a plan in his heart, and God orders the steps. So you notice it's not in his head, it's in his heart. And connection, God, source orders the steps. So that's that walking meditation. Be right here. How am I? Okay. Because that's when you get the signals. You don't get the signals when you're all in worry head out and about. Okay. Here's my biggest shortcut from having cancer. I call it the 90-10 plan. Okay. I make 90% of my day about things that please me. And I put the crappy stuff in the 10% pile. And there's plenty of room in that 10% pile. But if you make 90% of your day about things that please you, you're better off than 99% of the world. Whether you have cancer, whether you have old bones, whether you whatever you got going on. And how do you do that, you might ask? One moment at a time. Brick by brick, my citizens. Brick by brick. So 90%, make 90% of your life about things that please you. Throw the other stuff in the 10% pile. By the way, you can tune up that 10% pile also, so you can have more room. But anyway, okay. And then I want to just tell you the story of the song that Sonnet is going to sing for finishing. Oh, first I'm going to also tell you. Oh, I told you that already. Okay. So in summer 2022, I thought I was in remission. What I didn't know is that I had tumors growing in my skull. I didn't even know the crap could get up there. Okay. And then it was in the soft, grew out of my skull into the soft tissues. And anyway, it was a nightmare. But I didn't know. I'm just like, okay, whatever. I'm in remission. So I was tasked, Sonnet was my songwriting coach, her and her partner, John, and they tasked me to write an inspirational song on my guitar. Because at this point, I had brought out my guitar again and was doing more songwriting for myself. So I thought, well, I am the inspiration. I'm living it. I'm in remission. I'm doing it. In the meantime, my dog Camelot, he was, we were both rising, but to different places. But he was, it was end of days for him. And I knew it. And I knew he had kept me alive. And so, anyway, I was writing this song, and I kept bringing it to Jonathan. They're like, "Yeah, not quite right. Go back," because that's what you do to get a good song. You keep going back and go back till every word lands. And the day that the song was exactly where I knew it needed to be was the day the vet was coming. And so I was able to play this song as my Camelot, Rose.